I can hear background. Oh, there we go. Can you hear me, mate? Nah, I got nothing back. I can hear myself now. Oh yeah, you got me now. Okay, niggly.
Check, 1, 2. Okay, great.
So that's the on-air ones.
Hey, this is just a test. Hopefully we're all good here. Okay, just a testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Make sure we're not going to be deaf or blind. G'day team, welcome of course to Rugby Park Stadium here in Invercargill, the ILT Rugby Park. We've got the boys are going to do some introductions very shortly here for the Crusaders versus the Highlanders. Well, actually it should be the other way around. They are in our backyard, Highlanders versus Crusaders. We've just got that wee graphic up at the moment just to give everybody the opportunity to be able to log in, so you know where to log in. There is no sound, so don't panic. Everything will come right in about 16 minutes and 37 seconds is when it'll come right. So welcome for those people that have joined us here at the ILT Rugby Park Stadium for, of course, and a big thanks goes to the team from SBS. We'll be back with you really soon. Back soon.
Testing, testing. Welcome into ILT Rugby Park Stadium in Invercargill for this Waitangi Day Super Rugby fixture. Highlanders taking on the Crusaders. Scott Ed leading your commentary today. With me is jack of all trades for the Highlanders. He's been there since the inception. Now General Manager of Rugby, Greg O'Brien. OB, awesome crowd, awesome day here in the south.
Yes, good. I mean, look around. What a fantastic crowd. I mean, it's a beautiful day. A bit of a breeze blowing down the ground, but, you know, it's going to be a great spectacle for a Waitangi day.
And fair to say, the crowd's turned up pretty early. What are we thinking, 3,000, 4,000?
Yeah, I think so. I think they sort of pre-sold 3.5 or so. So, you know, we can expect a few more. So maybe might even tip the 5,000 mark if we're lucky. We're going to get involved in there. It's got to be moved back a bit.
Yeah, we're getting caught up in the middle of the Highlanders attack here, but sun's out in Invercargill, a bit of a slight breeze, but conditions pretty good. Obviously, February, always a firm track, particularly in Invercargill OB. It's been an awesome couple of days in Invercargill for the team. I know they got billeted out last night and a couple of community engagements.
Yeah, it was great. We came yesterday, had a luncheon, and the guys got billeted out last night. A bit old school, but they enjoyed it. A couple of barbecues. I hope they didn't eat too much for today, but no, it's great to come down here. We haven't been down for a while, so it's good to be here today, and it's great to be playing the Crusaders, of course. I mean, I know it's pre-season, but when you're playing the Crusaders, there's always an edge and a bit of intensity.
Absolutely, and speaking of the Crusaders, obviously not shy of the All Blacks, plenty of All Blacks on display today, which I'm sure will excite the crowd, but Highlanders team got a run under their belt last week against Moana Pacifica in Auckland, and it was a good opportunity for Coach Jamie Joseph to test a few new combinations.
Yeah, that's right. They played 3 games of 30 up there, so that's a slightly different game today, 240s, but yeah, they travelled up and back the same day, so it was a long day for them, but they were pretty happy to come out in the end with just a sort of a last-minute try. So, you know, different side today, but they'll be looking to build those combinations. Yeah,
and speaking of that Highlanders side today, a couple of new faces for Highlanders fans, particularly in that starting lineup. A couple of guys, OB, for Highlanders fans to keep an eye on today.
Yeah, that's right. There's, Vili Sunga, he's at 7. So he's a young man out of Bay. He played 1 game for the Hurricanes last year, but, you know, he's a hard ball carrier. So, there were a lot of eyes on him to see how he goes. Sefa Kautai, he's another one. He's played for the Chiefs with Brumbies last year. Strong forward pack, the Brumbies. So, looking forward to see him go.
And obviously TK Howden at number 6. That's an exciting addition. New Zealand Māori All Black. Played for the Hurricanes, Manawatu Turbos. Be awesome to see him go today.
He's experienced. You know, he knows how to play. And, again, he's a strong ball carrier. So, didn't get a run last week, but I expect to see him go well this week.
Yeah, and probably key matchup for you today, OB. Obviously, some pretty awesome matchups across the field. What excites you?
Yeah, we've got that all Black front row for the Crusaders. So, you know, Mao and De Groot, they'll be looking forward to locking horns with their oppositions. But you think of our halfbacks with Hodham and Whakatava, then the young 10s, Miller and Kamara. So, you know, there's plenty to look out for today. And then out wide, you've got Sevu Reece on Johnny Nariki. That'll be exciting. They're 2 wonderful players to watch.
Absolutely. Well, not far away from kickoff now here at Rugby Park Stadium in Invercargill, so stay tuned and we'll get underway shortly. Welcome back to Rugby Park Stadium in Invercargill for a bit of Waitangi Day Super Rugby pre-season action. Got with me Greg O'Brien, for those who have just joined, General Manager of Rugby at the Highlanders, NOB. Got the big pipes in the middle, got a big crowd turned up here for this Thursday afternoon clash, and we take a look at the Highlanders starting lineup today. Up front, Ethan de Groot, Soni Vakina, Solamau, Fabian Holland and Mitch Dunshay in the second row. Loose forward trio of TK Howden, Vivini Lasanga, Hugh Renton is the co-captain, Falau Fakatava and Cam Miller will steer the ship. Jonah Nareki on the left wing. Probably an interesting selection today. Co-captain Timothy Tavatanawai in the 12 jumper. Tanielu Talia at 13, Caleb Tangitau, who's a new recruit from the Blues on the right wing, and Sam Gilbert at the back. That's your Highlanders starting lineup today, and of course a big reserve bench. I'm sure we'll see plenty of action in the second half of today's game. Obviously some notable names there, especially exciting to see the young Finn Hurley go at the fullback. As we have a look at the Crusaders starting lineup for this afternoon. All Black lad in front row, Tamaiti Williams, George Bow and Fletcher Newell. Taylor Cahill and Antonio Shalfoon in the second row. Cullen Grace on the 6th jumper. Vice captain for the Crusaders is Ethan Blackadder. Christian Leo Willie, who plays his NPC rugby for Otago. 9 and 10 combo, Hamilton boys, ex-old boys, Noah Hotham and Taha Kimura. Southland Stags, Sevu Reese on the left wing, making an appearance at Rugby Park. David Havili, who's been handed the captaincy in the 12 jumper, and he'll captain the Crusaders this season. He's partnered with Dallas McLeod, Shea Fihaki on the right wing, and Will Jordan at the back, who is the Crusaders vice captain this afternoon, along with Blackadder. So that's your Crusaders lineup. And again, extended benches this afternoon, coached by Rob Penny and OB. Two pretty strong sides heading into today's fixture.
Oh yeah, that's right. 10 All Blacks and O'Connor, the Australian international. Yeah, that's 10 All Blacks, O'Connor, the Australian international, and a lot of captains out there today, Scotty. We've got obviously co-captains for the Highlanders, Tavatanawai and Renton, and then Havili captain and Blackadder and Jordan. But interestingly, fun fact, all from Tasman. So I don't know who's going to captain the Tasman NPC side, but they've got plenty of candidates.
Yeah, that's a great fact to pull out off the bat. OB, 5 captains on the park, all from the same provincial union.
Must have been a crowd at the toss, you know.
Yeah.
Wonder who made the call.
We might have to check the record books around that one, how many captains there have been. But great to see crowd build up. I know we talked out just before on the grass around the last couple of days. Been awesome around community engagement. The squad, management have been out and about in Invercargill. Was awesome to see the boys getting billeted out last night.
Yeah, a bit old school, as we said before, but the boys were delighted, you know, to get out amongst the community and really meet the people rather than just see them around the outside of a ground. So I know, I'm sure the whole organisation will be delighted with the turnout of the Southern fan base here. You know, I don't know, we're 4, maybe 5,000, and it's a beautiful day. So, you know, just delighted.
Yeah, as we get closer to kick-off here, and the field looks in pristine order for early February kick-off. And I guess, OB, talk about this time of year, big pre-seasons both these squads have had, and I know from a Highlanders perspective, been a lot of running, a lot of loading over the last couple of months. The team's looking pretty fit as they've probably ever been.
Well, yeah, it's a short pre-season, only 2 games for each club, so this is the second and last, so they'll all be wanting to get something out of this game. You're quite right, the Highlanders have been battling away up there, plenty of hard work, plenty of physicality, so they'll be looking to put a good performance on the track before they head away to Sydney next week to take on the Waratahs.
Yeah, round 1 just 8 days away, and we look forward to seeing that game next Friday night. And of course, for the Southland faithful, a few Stags players scattered across the Highlanders team, as well as Sevu Reese. I'm sure Ethan de Groot will be wanting to get out in front of his home crowd, and I guess we talk about Ethan OB, you know, had his fair share of ups and downs in 2024, and sure he's got a real point to prove coming out today against probably the guy that took his starting All Black jumper by the end of the year. So that'll be, I'm sure, plenty of motivation for the big man.
Oh, look, one thing we know about Ethan, he's resilient, he's tough, he's from this end of the world, so he's going to be both of those. So, yeah, he's got a big year in front of him. I'm sure he'll want to start it today. So, yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, as we see a crowd just continuing to build here. Nice wee scattering of fans on the terrace. Good to see some new and old Highlanders jerseys. And I guess looking at the Crusaders side, OB, plenty of All Blacks there. And I guess probably the real question for the Crusaders, probably their inside halves pairing. Noah Hotham obviously an All Black, but in 2024 probably didn't see a whole lot of game time in the back end of the year. It was a bit of a travelling trainer with the All Blacks, you would say. And young Taha Kemara, who's been handed the 10 jersey. Interesting selection there.
Yeah, two good players, but young, and as you say, a debut for Noah for the All Blacks, one game. But, Hamilton boys, they play together, Hamilton boys, play a lot of rugby together, so, they'll be comfortable, and they'll be looking to drive the Crusaders around the field today, get them in the right positions and put a bit of pressure on the Highlanders.
Yeah, and of course, interesting addition to the Crusaders in 2025, who's on the bench today, James O'Connor, well known to New Zealand rugby fans. And it's going to be interesting how he goes. Understand he got a bit of a run around against the Blues last weekend in pre-season 1, so we'll see how he goes. From a Highlanders perspective, OB, obviously, we said before, a few new players. Great to see someone like Michael Manson, who took his opportunities in NPC. Obviously, from all accounts, scored a nice wee match winner last week. Great to see him get an opportunity today.
Yep, local lad, born here, playing for Southland, gets his opportunity at the higher level. He went away to America, I think, last year, played for the Utah Warriors, but he's got what every coach likes. He's got real, genuine pace, and you can't coach that. So, he'll be looking to get the opportunity to get a bit of space, and I'm sure there'll be a roar from the terrace if he scorches down there early in the second half if he gets on.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing him hopefully come on at a later stage. Obviously, Jamie Joseph back at the helm in 2025, and Corey Brown coming on board in the coaching staff. How's that dynamic gone this year with Jamie back in charge and a bit of a new look coaching group?
Yeah, well, a different Brown, but it's still the Joseph Brown, isn't it? So, look, they've come together well. They're a very experienced group. Corey's been coached around the world as a head coach. Dave Dillon's similar. You've got a team there that know what they're doing. Ben Smith, a bit younger, but, quality. So, yeah, all in all, I think he'll be pretty happy where they are at the moment, but I think we'll have to ask him in about 2 hours to really get a gauge on how he's feeling.
And I'm sure he will get a good appreciation for how his squad goes this afternoon. So the crowd continues to flow in here at Rugby Park Stadium. If you're just joining us, welcome in. Hope you're enjoying your Waitangi Day wherever you are. And it's awesome to have some pre-season rugby action here in the deep, deep south in Invercargill. Rugby Park probably hasn't seen a Super Rugby game. I think the last game was the Western Force 2 years ago. It was a round robin fixture, so been a wee while since Invercargill tasted Super Rugby, but you've got to say the public have got in behind this game today, judging by the number of people in the gate at this stage, so really awesome to see the Southland community get out and about.
Yeah, 100%. Well, they've really voted with their feet here, haven't they? They certainly want to see Super Rugby down here, and this is the opportunity. There'll be a bit of roar from the crowd, I think, when the team runs out, because they're playing in the maroon strip today as a nod to the locals. So, yeah, look, I think it's going to be a great day. As I said earlier, it's a pre-season game, but this is the Highlanders versus the Crusaders, and that's always a matchup.
That it is. And I guess the Crusaders taking on the Hurricanes next weekend in round 1. Pretty poor season, I guess, from their perspective in 2024, so we're sure that they will improve on where they got to last year. You agree with that, OB?
Well, 7 championships in a row. Yeah, sure, they didn't have quite the year they wanted last year, but quality is long-lasting, and so class, they'll be there, I'm sure, when the whips are cracking at the end of May, early June.
An exciting first few weeks for the Highlanders. Obviously, away to the New South Wales Waratahs next week, and then first home game against the Blues at Forsyth Bar. I'm sure the Zoo will be pumping that night, Saturday night.
Yeah, orientation week, yes, it'll all be happening down there. A few couches being burnt, no doubt, but it's great for the Highlanders at least to be able to play the Playing Through champions early on, get a good benchmark of how they're going, see how they're measuring up against the top teams. So Waratahs will be strong. They've brought in well over the off-season, a lot of Wallabies in their setup. So, yeah, 2 strong, hard games to start. So, yeah, by round 3, Coach Joseph will have a really good handle on where his team's at.
Yes, as we see David Havili in the bright orange boots lead out the Crusaders this afternoon. And as they run out, plenty of All Blacks on display there. You don't have to look further than up front to Mighty Williams, who was one of the big improvers for the All Blacks under Scott Robertson, with Fletcher Newell on the tight head side, and George Bell. George Bell probably who has a bit to prove from an All Black perspective. Again, was the third hooker and didn't have a whole lot of game time, so he'll be really trying to make the most of his Super Rugby campaign. And Cody Taylor picking up a hamstring injury. What better opportunity for George Bell to make a good fist of the first part of the season. Plenty of depth in that Crusaders squad. You see the likes of Tom Christie, Corey Callow, George Bauer, who played plenty of Super Rugby footy.
Yeah, it's strong, isn't it? Experience will replace experience as the Highlanders come out onto the field with a huge roar. Captain, two co-captains, Tava Tavanoa and Renton, lead them out.
You see, like OB mentioned before, in the maroon kit today, a nod to the Southland and where they're playing this afternoon. One person, I think Highlanders fans will have a bit of excitement around seeing, will be Caleb Tangitau, the flying winger. Played for the Auckland Blues last year, former New Zealand under-20, New Zealand Sevens representative. From all accounts, he's had a really good pre-season, OB, and looking sharp.
Yeah, well, we talked about Manson before in the pace. Well, Tangitau's got that as well. He's a New Zealand Sevens, ex-New Zealand Sevens, so he knows how to go. So he's another one. If he gets a half a gap, he'll be away. So plenty of talent on both sides out wide. So let's hope the ball gets some air and we see a good game.
Yes, and obviously got to remember the officials today. And Fraser Hannon is in charge of this one this afternoon. Done a fair few first-class games up and down the country over the past few years, as we see the bagpipers just clearing off the field.
And now the referee in white. If he had white shorts on, it'll be a turn back in time there.
Yeah, as we see assistant referees this afternoon, Aaron Doherty and Caleb Nielsen helping Fraser out. And we're about to get underway here at Rugby Park, and it's Cam Miller goes short down the middle, and it's a nice wee restart, but well taken by Dallas McLeod, and Crusaders get first cricket position. Hotham looks for George Bow and strong carry first up. Looks like we're going to set directors forwards, and he finds Blackadder. Some strong defence there from De Groot. Both teams, I'm sure, will be looking at feel each other out early on, and Noah Hotham's going to go to the ear straight away. And it's a pretty shallow kick. If you just say Crusaders have got a slight wind at their back, and Fihaki's just tipped that one forward a wee bit. Ball goes to Miller out the back. He has a wee dance and just sets centre field. Highlanders first hands on the ball. And they go to Nareki, a wee bit high for him there, but he does well. And TK Howden winds up and goes forward. A Māori All Black flanker. Interesting to see how both teams play. Highlanders playing into a slight breeze in this first half. Not overly strong, but Miller goes to the air, and that one hangs up nicely, and it's going to be Kemera. The first five goes up. Talia does well. The Highlanders come through. Lasangwa gets through it, and the Highlanders are going to step over this and win it. Ball goes to the group. Fires it out the back to Gilbert. They try and move the ball quickly to space on the turnover. Just a ball again over Tavanoa's head, but he's strong on his feet, the big man. Carries up towards halfway. Highlanders in a wee bit of position early. They play out the back to Miller. Trying to use the ball really early and does well there. Nareki in the tackle. Finds Lasangwa down the edge. Open side flanker. Puts the foot down. Puts it on the foot. Is it going to stay in? It's going to stay in. Reese goes back. And we'll have a goal line dropout. But some good early signs there from the Highlanders.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the way they're going wide there, really, and finding a bit of space out wide there. And it was Gilbert who got that last ball away, but Lasangwa who made the big break. And a good option to kick it forward. Just didn't quite hold up short of the goal line, which I'm sure he would have wanted. But early pressure for the Highlanders.
Yeah, lovely hands there from Jonah Nareki. Great to see him back. He's had his fair share of injury troubles over the past couple of years. But sure for Highlanders fans, and I'm sure the team, I'll be fingers crossed that he can get through. And we see a charge down there, and the ball's come back, and the Crusaders going to get it and look to run the ball out. Some good heat there, though, from Talia, and forces the error. Probably not something you see every day, a charge down off a goal line dropout. Probably the first time I've seen that.
Well, it's a bit of a unicorn there. I don't think Ethan de Groot's charged down too many dropouts, but he did there.
He didn't have to jump very high either, the big man. And he did well, and we're going to see, well, we talked about the front row battle, and we're going to see 2.5 minutes in, our first scrum. See something of much discussion often is around the time that it takes to set a scrum, so we'll see how referee Hannon patrols that this afternoon.
Well, often early season there's a few niggles, a few problems setting a scrum, but let's see how it goes. It would be good to see a good clean ball, give the Highlanders an opportunity to attack.
There's a nice wee left-hand blind here. Nareki just sitting in behind the boot, and Whakatawa feeds, and it's a nice solid scrum from the Highlanders, and they go to Nareki, and he just goes hard down that 10 channel, gets through the tackle of Kimura and up over the gain line. Whakatawa looking for TK Howden on the charge. Highlanders, first opportunity for points this afternoon. Whakatawa steps out, plays short. Looks like Crusaders trying to get over the ball, but illegally so, and Hugh Renton gets them going forward. They work same way. Whakatawa looking for runners, plenty of them. Finds it, but will come back. Just a wee bit of obstruction there, but promising start, OB.
You're looking good there in the danger zone. Some good corner cleaning, freeing up some good ball for Whakatawa, and he had plenty of options, plenty of runners, plenty of guys with their hands up to take it, and just been unlucky they had a bit of obstruction there. But now they've got an opportunity in front of the posts, and it looks like they're going to take the 3.
Yeah, and probably a nod to the mindset this afternoon around treating that, even though it's pre-season, treating it like a fixture that would be played in the round robin. So,
well, as we said, in a matter of 8 days, the Highlanders have got to go to Sydney and take on the Waratahs. So this is a good shakedown.
and I'm sure this sort of kick here for Cam Millett shouldn't have too many troubles. Just 6 metres out, straight out in front. Something I'm sure he could do probably with his eyes closed and get us underway here on the scoreboard at Rugby Park. If you're just joining us, welcome in to Invercargill for this fixture. Big thanks to the Pits for the live stream and SBS, naming rights sponsor of the Highlanders and big contributors for making this happen today. And 3 points to nil, the Highlanders draw first blood here in this pre-season fixture. And it will be Taha Kimura to get us back underway. Nice deep restart. If you just joined us, Crusaders, we wind at their back. Highlanders playing into a slight breeze. Nothing too big and probably not Nareki's finest kick.
I don't think the breeze had much to do with that. That just came straight off the outside of the boot.
And we'll see the Crusaders line out. And we're going to see the Crusaders first line out here. George Bell, All Black Cocker. They've gone for the 5-man option. Plenty of tall timber in there, and they do well off the top. And the ball goes to Kimura. Plays out the back to Leo Willie. Goes to Fihaki. Fihaki looks dangerous. Goes through. Shea Fihaki on the outside. Finds Sever Reese. Reese ducks back inside. Good defence though from the Highlanders. Covering across and scrambling well. Leo Willie on the front foot. Crusaders opportunity to strike back straight away. Up into the 22. Hotham looking for the ball. Searching for it. Having a dig for it. Goes back to the blind. Lovely hands from McLeod. Finds Will Jordan. Takes it up. Just 10 metres out. Crusaders hammering away here. Looking for the first try of the afternoon. They pick and go through the middle. The Highlanders defence up to the challenge there, and that was skipper Hugh Renton leading from the front. They play away again. Quick recycle. Hotham steps out. Has a wee look himself and gets buried. Might have been Ethan de Groot in the thick of that, and it was the big man. Looks for George Bell. Puts his head down. Runs into another brick wall. Building nicely though, the Crusaders. Asking plenty of questions of the Highlanders around the breakdown. And Tamaiti Williams goes forward. Shrugs off one. Looks for Leo Willie. Going up against some of his NPC teammates from Otago. Finds Dallas McLeod on a nice short ball. 3 metres out. Crusaders building here. They play right. Cahill just short of the line. And we'll come back for the penalty. Referee Hannon was playing advantage. Looks like the Highlanders might have gone over the ball there, but just have a look on the replay and a couple of backdoor plays, and Fihaki just a bit of pace there from Shea Fihaki. Lovely pass to Sever Reese. And Crusaders looking dangerous.
Yeah, that was a good line-out strike move and just allowed Fihaki to get on the outside of Talia, make that half break. But good defence on the line there from the Highlanders. They'll be happy with that. But also pretty clinical from the Crusaders, and they're looking threatening.
As we see our second scrum of the afternoon. We're not taking quite the 30 seconds to set up, but they're setting up nonetheless, and pretty tough place to defend in this sort of spot. You've got about a 20-metre right-hand blind, and they got Fihucky in the boot. Highlanders have got Cam Miller also in the boot, so Crusaders will be looking for a good platform here. We're just going to have a reset. Both teams feeling each other out. And how good's this crowd, OB? The hill absolutely chocker here at Rugby Park.
Yeah, no, it's thickened up just nicely like one of my grandmother's soups. So, no, it's looking good. I think we're well around the 5,000.
Yeah. Fantastic crowd. Grandstand full. Terrace pretty full as well. So Southlanders wanting their fix of Super Rugby, and they've got it today on Waitangi Day. Of course, public holiday. Burritt Munro Challenge Week also in Southland. So bigger week of events in and around Invercargill. As we see this scrum reset, Hotham feeds. Good platform from the Crusaders. And they get the shunt on. Ball comes out though. Hotham fights Havili. Goes out the back to Jordan. Lovely hands of Jordan to Reese. Reese for the corner. Ducks inside 1, 2. Just short. Great defence from the Highlanders. And they're forced to knock on. And looked like for all money, Reese was going to go over. But some fantastic defence. It might have been the co-captain. We have a look on the replay. Great handling from Will Jordan. Right on the chest of Reese. And got Tangitau and Talia. Talia did very well, and he coming across.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier the Tangitau's pace, and you could see it there. Not attack, but defence. He got wide and pressured Reese, and that's a try saver.
Yeah, and we see Cam Miller probably want to have that one again, but got it down over the 22, and Crusaders right back on attack, and they got another penalty advantage, building plenty of pressure here, and Cahill goes for a nice carry. They're looking for a bit of space around the middle. George Bell finds it. Just finding a wee bit of space around that breakdown, that first defender, Hotham. They play out the back, Kimura, Jordan. Wee bit bobbled, but the ball goes to Fihucky. Good on his feet. Ducks in past 2. Wealth of position here in this last 5 minutes, just to start off. And that's a good shot from Solomau on Fletcher Newell, his opposite this afternoon. And another penalty. Even though a couple of penalties, but you'd have to say from a Highlanders perspective, some really good D within their 22, getting tested here.
Yeah, exactly right. And what else will be tested is Fraser Hannon's patience, I think, shortly. There's 2 or 3 penalties now, so I know it's pre-season, but he'll want better discipline from the Highlanders.
I'm sure from a referee's perspective, they always have a couple of key areas that they focus in on, especially early doors, so like potentially not rolling there in that breakdown, and we'll see another Crusaders line out.
Yeah, well, they had a good strike move off the last line out just outside the 22. This is 5 metres, so whether they take it and drive or use it out wide, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, no, looks like a bit of confusion there. Who was in and who was out of the line out? As Leo Willie joins late. Of course, Christian Leo Willie had an outstanding 2024 season, spent a bit of time with the All Blacks, and they go to the front and they drive. Try and get the shunt on the Highlanders early. And of course, that we changed the rule last year around using it once. Referee's demanding Hotham use it, and he fires it away to Havili. Plays out the back to Kimura. Bobble ball though, and off goes Tangitau. But just another penalty. Offside. That one looked pretty 50-50 there with the Highlanders lenses on, but
again, the small numbers will be happy with that. They've rebuffed the drive and kept them out, so they'll be happy. And Coach Jovis will be happy with the defence as well. Alternatively, the Crusaders, I think, will want to get something out of this extended period of pressure they're having.
Yeah, not probably a good sight for Crusaders fans and coaches. I know riddled by injuries, and Dallas McLeod looks quite sore there. Looks like maybe a bit of a leg niggle. Just putting a bit of ice down on his ankle by the looks of it. So just 10 minutes in here, and Levi Almoa is on the field. So first change of the game. Hopefully Dallas McLeod, from his perspective, not too serious. And another drive from the Crusaders, and they don't quite get it right, but Bell comes off of it. George Bell still going, and he's over. First try of the afternoon goes to the All Black hooker. That was probably a wee bit too simple from a Highlanders perspective after some really good defensive efforts, but Crusaders, it's a wealth of position and pressure there, and 12 and a half minutes in. First points of the day, first try of the day.
Well, you mentioned Bell in the preamble, but yeah, he just picked up the bobble ball, went blind, saw the options, some good footwork, and he's a strong carrier of the ball, and he did the rest from there.
He had a wee bit of work to do. Looked like the ball just got a wee bit stuck up high from a Crusaders perspective. Blackadder cleared it away, and then just a one-on-one with his opposite. And he's gone straight through him, as we see the other angle here.
Well, again, I think the Highlanders will be happy that they're able to stop the drive, but they, as you say, they won't be happy with that blindside defence.
As we see Taha Kimura here, looking to convert. About 7 in from touch. We breeze behind him, and it looks like we might have another injury for the Crusaders. That might be George Bell himself, and it is George Bell. So, although he scored the try, you'd hope and expect, hopefully not too serious. Looked like he was a wee bit ginger. So it looks like Crusaders made their second change. Ioane Moananu out of Counties Manukau. He is on the field in jersey number 16 by the look of it. So we'll try and keep you updated best we can with who's coming on and who's coming off. But probably not what the Crusaders expected after 13 minutes.
Yeah, they've got a big bench, but they wouldn't want to be using all of it, I'm sure.
As we get back underway, and Leo Willie carries back over the 22. Crusaders looking to exit nice and tightly, and the ball goes back to Will Jordan. He goes nice and long down the middle, but straight down the throw to Miller. Finds Gilbert. Gilbert runs the ball back hard over the halfway. Looking to attack. Finds Miller back on the inside. Cam Miller. Great footwork from the young first five. Whakatava looking for quick ball, but he's just had a wee bobble there. Some good signs from Sam Gilbert. Cam Miller linking up nicely on that counter-attack.
Yeah, great intent from the back there by Gilbert, and as you say, great footwork for Miller, who showed some good pace there, and just a shame they couldn't quite execute that last pass.
And look at Cam Miller. He had a few years in the Highlanders environment now. Hopefully, sure, showed some really good signs towards the back end of 2024, and he can really take control of this team and see an outstanding kicker of the ball. Great to see him attacking that line nice and early. We'll see another Crusaders scrum. See Moana Nu on the field. So just a different front rower. I'll adjust to that, but great scrum from the Crusaders, and they get the shunt on and they go right through the Highlanders, but referee calls use and they play left to Will Jordan. He takes off. Jordan finds Reese on the outside, ducks back infield. Sevu Reese goes himself, still going. Sevu Reese up over the halfway. And the Highlanders looking for the turnover but couldn't find it. Hotham, and he's picked off. Caleb Tangitau, he's got a bit of work to do here. Ducks inside one. Crusaders do well to scramble. Tangitau up over the 22. Highlanders looking to transfer the ball. They pop it off the ground and they're penalised. And just lack that wee bit of support, but great timing and read there from Tangitau.
Yeah, there was just a wee bit too much cover out wide for him to get round the outside and go down the touchline, so he was forced to come in. Did his best, but the arriving cavalry just went past the ball a bit there, and Crusaders earn a penalty.
We see his timing onto the ball there. Taha Kimura did well to anticipate that and see the scramble as we have a look on the replay. Some good scramble defence there from the Crusaders, and they get out of jail, but Highlanders putting plenty of pressure on the ball defensively, getting up off the line. Conceded a couple of penalties early, but definitely putting the Crusaders ball carriers under a wee bit of pressure and taking some time away. As we see Moana Nu, his first throw of the afternoon, and he goes to the front, and it's a good throw, and they drive again, the Crusaders. Looking to drive early and set the tone up front. And it looks like Hotham going to go to the air here, but they keep marching forward up towards the halfway. Still going. Looks like they've stopped now. Here we look, Hotham. They go for the chip kick. Cavilli over the top, and it's going to set up for Tavatava Nawai. He does well, the co-captain. He's strong. He's still going. And he's just gone up to play the ball again, and Talia does well. Barges his way forward. Highlanders back in position after a bit of Crusaders ball there for a few minutes, and they go over the top. Tangitau deflected by Fihaki. Be a wee advantage there for the Highlanders, but Hannon says play on, and Crusaders try and pile through that breakdown. Highlanders get into their shape, and Ma'u, big carry from the big man. Good recycle. They go away to Dunshay. Miller, lovely hands. Cam Miller finds Talia, puts it on the foot. Finds a wee bit of grass, but Reese is back there to cover it, and Fihaki, and off goes Sever Reese. Goes in a wee circle, gets onto his left foot, and does pretty well. The All Black winger, not naturally left-footed, as Gilbert brings the ball back to Nareki. Highlanders showing plenty of intent to run the ball back on a kick, and Nareki looks for the offload, but couldn't get it away, and up to the 10-metre line. Back in position, the Highlanders. Goes to Lasangwa, good carry, he's had a good start, and he pops the ball up to Miller, keeps the ball alive. Miller looking for options, finds Fakatava, one-on-one, Fakatava went to throw the pass, but throwing it straight to Havili, and the Crusaders are going to transition here, and they've got numbers. Leo Willie finds Severis on the outside, goes for Almua, goes past Renton, goes past Dunshay, still going Levi Almua. Game getting pretty loose here early. And Highlanders look to pile through that breakdown, and they do it. It's messy, and the Highlanders are going to step through this, are they? Putting a lot of pressure on the Crusaders. And the ball looks like it's available. Highlanders might have it, and they've got it. Crusaders might have recovered, though. And they have, and the ball goes back to Taha Kimura. Good kick pressure.
And a breather for everyone.
Yeah. And wow, what a passage of play there, OB. Talk us through that.
Well, it started with Tavatava Nawai acting like a slips fieldsman and catching that ball and then shifting it away, and then 3 or 4 attacks. But some great work by the Highlanders forwards. They really hoed into those breakdowns and made it awkward for the Crusaders, who also showed great intent from attack from deep. But here we go again.
And a wee fake drive play here from the Highlanders. Fakatava, way to Tavatava Nawai. Goes out the back, but the ball doesn't go to hand, and Almua picks it up, and off goes Severis, and here come the Crusaders, and here comes Will Jordan, one-on-one with Nareki. Goes on the inside, goes on the outside. Great defence from Cam Miller, comes across and forces the error, and that's big well done from the first 5. Got back and scrambled, but the Highlanders have thrown it away. Renton just flicked it up there. Really in real endeavour to keep the ball alive, but just not always going to the right jersey, and the Crusaders come again. Cahill, athletic second rower, goes down the edge. Crusaders looking for their second try of the afternoon. Ball goes back to Kimura. Game being played at a rapid pace. Havili has a wee look. Sets the ruck centre field. Hotham looking for the ball. Finds Williams again. Tamaiti Williams. Big carry from him. Hotham regathers. Goes to Moana Nu. Pumps the legs and goes forward. The big hooker out of Counties Manukau in the NPC. Had a great season last year. Jordan looking for runners. He throws it away as well. Ball might have come off the Crusaders there, but referee says play on. We're going to keep playing. Crusaders 6 metres out. Building nicely here. They go short side. Goes away to Shalfoon. He puts the head down and carries forward. Looks like Leo Willie. He ploughs ahead. Just 5 metres out. Moana Nu again. He's had plenty of touches since coming on for George Bell. If you've just joined us, George Bell, Dallas McLeod, both off with what looked like leg injuries. So another penalty advantage. Crusaders building plenty of pressure. They go to Kimura. Goes hard at the line. Taha Kimura, and he's going to go over for the Crusaders' second of the afternoon. And that was just pressure on pressure. And good reward for the young first 5.
Well, we just come off a huge stanza of play, and now another long passage of play. But again, the Crusaders very efficient, good at the breakdown, took good options, and they just wore that Highlanders defence down. And the Highlanders just playing in the wrong end of the ground there for too long, and the Crusaders are rewarded with a try.
Yeah, I guess it's that balance around carrying the ball and throwing that offload and trying to keep the ball alive, and being some really good play in that sequence from the Highlanders, but just a couple of key ones not going to hand, and Crusaders have punished it. And Kimura's going to try and convert his own try here. 20 minutes gone, or 21 minutes gone here at Rugby Park. If you've just joined us for the Super Rugby pre-season fixture, welcome in Waitangi Day in a packed Rugby Park Stadium in Invercargill. Embankment and terrace are full, as well as the stand that is available to be used. You'll notice, for those who aren't familiar with Rugby Park, half the grandstand has been out of order for a number of years due to earthquake-prone issues. So Kimura puts that one through the sticks. 22 minutes in, 14 points to 3. General takeaways so far from a Highlanders perspective, OB?
Well, I've certainly enjoyed the attacking intent. We've seen it come from the back. There's been some of the offloads haven't come off, but the intent's there. So it's been quality game. But certainly both teams are going to need their extended squads because it's a hell of a pace.
Yeah, rapid pace and a lot of transition play, and both teams looking to move the ball to space really quickly and really trying to push that pass. So there'll be a few lungs getting expanded at this point. And Cam Miller gets us back underway. Goes a wee bit deeper this time. taken in by the Crusaders, and they march forward, and they'll get the penalty. Just a wee bit of shepherding there by the look of it.
Yeah, well, of course, the new rule, you can't do that. You must give access to the catcher from the attacking team. So he ended up behind a couple of his own players. So penalty to the Highlanders, and we'll see what they do, whether they go to the corner or take the points. Looks like they're going to the corner.
And trusty boot of Cam Miller. And that obstruction rule, probably something we saw a bit in the All Blacks end of year tour, especially from kickoff.
Yeah, and like all new rules, Scotty, it takes a wee while to adjust. The players, they'll get that right.
Yeah, as we see a golden opportunity here for the Highlanders to get back into this fixture on the scoreboard. And it will be Vakina. He throws to the back. Sony Vakina out of the Auckland Blues, joined the Highlanders this season. Big, powerful hooker, former New Zealand under-20s representative. And the Highlanders got good shape on this maul. Going a wee bit lateral, but they're still going forward. Looks like Fraser Hannon might be asking them to use it. Whakatava digging for the ball 5 metres out. They've centralised that quite well, and the ball goes to Tavatava Nawai, and he carries forward, but he's got 3 Crusaders all over him. Quick pick and go from the Ricky, though, and he's going to go through and score. And great thinking from the left winger. Found a lot of space through the middle of the ruck, and the Highlanders score their first try of the afternoon. Jonah Nariki.
Yeah, well, they crabbed across field with that maul, and it looked like they weren't going anywhere, but then Tavatava Nawai, as he does, set up a good carry there, and then looks like Nariki's just pickpocketed that ball and got it in beside the post.
So we see off that maul, Tavatava Nawai, 1, 2, 3 defenders on him. Just Crusaders a wee bit slow to get out of that maul, and Nariki has pounced, and see Timothy Tavatava Nawai be in this more unfamiliar spot of second 5'8", something the Highlanders are having a wee look at, obviously, moving into the season.
Well, he's a devastating player, and the closer he can get to the action and the more times he has the ball in his hands, the more impact he can have on the game, Scoot. So I think we've seen it there.
Yeah, definitely attracting a lot of attention, and if it's not going to be him, then it's going to open up space for someone else as we have a look at the Highlanders bench, and plenty of fresh young faces there and guys that have been around. Daniel Leonard-Brown, one of those, most current highly capped Highlander, I believe.
That's correct.
As they go nice and long, back to Nariki. He goes for the pass option this time, finds his co-captain Hugh Renton. He charges forward. Highlanders looking for a tidy exit after a bit sloppy last time, and Whakatava just goes straight to the foot, finds a nice touch, punches it into the breeze nicely, and we'll have a Crusaders line out. So plenty of action so far, 25 minutes in. Welcome in if you've just joined us on this live stream Super Rugby pre-season action. Crusaders, 2 nice tries early, although they have lost George Bell and Dallas McLeod, which both look like leg injuries. Didn't look too major. Speaking of legs, Ethan de Groot just puts that on his foot and gives it away. And here goes Moana Nu. Lovely pass on the inside, but Cullen Grace just couldn't find it. It was probably too good a pass. I wasn't expecting that one, and it's straight off his chest, but again, just plenty of endeavour from both sides.
Well, I haven't seen Ethan de Groot practicing his kicking too much at training, and maybe he might just put that away and carry, eh?
Yes, we have a look here, and probably something, yeah, just a wee grubber. Not sure what he was attempting. Probably a nice wee 50-22.
Probably.
He was probably going for. I'm sure he'll tell us that what he was doing afterwards, but yeah, sure he'll be told to put the head down and carry. But he'll go to a scrum here. He's going to get a good test against Fletcher Newell. Last scrum, Crusaders had a bit of ascendancy. Whakatava to feed. I'm sure the Highlanders will be looking to rectify that as we look like we're going to have a reset.
Well, the scrums have been a tense tussle, as you say. It just looked like the Crusaders got on the top a wee bit of that last one, but the Highlanders will be looking for a good solid ball here. Good attacking position. They can set anything up in the midfield, go wide again, or exercise a kick for territory. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah, looking to go wide so far for the most part, the Highlanders from set pieces, and see 2 big targets in the midfield today, Tavatava Nawai and Tanyalu Talia. So hopefully they'll attract plenty of attention if you're a Highlanders supporter, and if they don't, hopefully they can bust the lines. We see a free kick here, and Looks like Fakatava's going to go because he's got to go. He's got to tap and he throws a dummy and goes to Miller. Miller goes himself. Lovely offload to Tavatava Nawai. There he goes. Good footwork from the big man. Then puts the head down and goes forward. Talia, nicely ball away. And Vakina showing us what he can do with ball in hand. Big, strong ball carrier up over the halfway. Crusaders look like they might have been a touch offside, but play on. Lovely tip ball there to the group. And he sets a good platform for Fakatava. Fires it away to Renton. Lovely ball out the back. Wee bit high, but Gilbert does well. Ducks back in. Sam Gilbert powers forward. Up over the 10-metre line. Finding some really good reward around that ruck. The Highlanders and Crusaders have come to grab it and knocked it on, but making some good inroads around that breakdown.
Yeah, I think they've just upped the tempo a wee bit here, and those two big passages they've played before are really starting to test the Crusaders a bit. And as you say, they're starting to make inroads in and around the breakdown and get some good yardage. But love Sawani Fakina out there running in the centres and showing some good pace.
Yeah, and he's a big, powerful lad. Plenty of competition in the Highlanders hooker stable with Henry Bell, who did start most of the games in 2024. And, of course, for Southland fans, Jack Taylor, the youngster, still learning plenty, and sure we'll see him at some stage throughout the season. Obviously, plenty of guys to come on this afternoon for the Highlanders, likes of Nikora Broughton, Sean Withy, Tane Robinson, who is a former Crusader. Good to see him go. And Southland crowd favourite, I'm sure, Michael Manson. I'm sure the terrace will give him some rapturous applause when he gets on. Obviously, former or Gore born and bred lad Finn Hurley now plays his trade for Otago. He'll be on later on. And Fakatava, lovely pass away to Tavatava Nawai, and great footwork from the big man, and he goes through. The co-captain finds on the outside Miller for the corner. Manages to just get pushed out, but threatening, and they call him the difference, OB, and he sure made a difference there.
Well, he's making every post a winner, and he's got the 12 on his back, as you say, but he's a real threat. Some great footwork there, and he managed to unlock Miller, who just got pushed out. So a good attack there from the Highlanders.
Yeah, fair to say, like what you see from a Highlanders attack point of view early on, but here goes the Crusaders, just as sharp, and Noah Hotham, the All Black halfback, takes the ball off, finds an acre of space, lovely pass, but probably just a wee bit far, and they've just shelled it at the All Black halfback. Just showing what he can do. Doesn't matter where he is on the field. Took that opportunity, and just both teams a few defensive issues, as maybe you would expect in pre-season. We have a look at the replay. Just a wee bit of Vakina just took off, and off went Hotham.
Well, that's the pre-season nature of the game. I'm not sure Hotham would have taken that option in a real game, but or a competition game, but just goes to show you can't take the eyes off Crusaders. They've got so many threats across the park.
Yeah, good to see Noah Hotham looking sharp in 2025. Should be wanting to push hard for an All Black playing jersey. Obviously was a squad member throughout the season. Debuted against Fiji. So we look here at another scrum. Half an hour gone by here at Rugby Park. 14 points to 10, and they go out the back, and Tangitau made a solid hit from Levi Almua. Read the cue really well. Got forward onto Tangitau, and they go to the air. Miller under a bit of pressure there and hurries the kick away, and Jordan's going to have a bit of time. He does well, releases All Black teammate Sever Reese, and Reese goes on a wee dart, finds Cahill. He's been prominent out on the edges, the big second rower. Had his hands on the ball a fair bit, and they go to Newell. Release out the back again to Kimura. Goes on to Will Jordan. Plenty of movement in the game here. Almua says, get off me, Nareki, and goes to Fihaki. Puts it on the foot, finds a bit of grass, and Miller's back there though. Cam Miller, and he's going to plug the ball back, and probably not his finest kick, Cam Miller, but could work out for him here, but it works out for Will Jordan, and off he goes, the All Black fullback. Takes the ball up over halfway, and maybe a wee knock on. Hannon says off the knee, Almua frees up David Havili, down the edge, David Havili, good tackle from Gilbert, up towards the 22. Crusaders looking for their third of the afternoon. Plenty of ball movement, just broke down there a wee bit, but again, play on. Shalfoon. Here's a wee look. Reese does what he does well. Pops up in the middle of the field, but on this occasion spills the ball, and the Highlanders are going to turn it over and transition, and they go away to Tangitau, and he puts it on the foot.
Massive kick.
Yeah, big boot there from the right winger. He finds plenty of space, and Kimura's going to go back, and he's going to have plenty of time here to cover, and finds a pretty good touch. Taha Kimura up towards the halfway.
Well, I imagine both forward packs would be just saying to the backs, just kick it out a bit more. They need a breather. I think the pace of the game is really starting to tell. There's a few people down in their haunches. It's been a really, really fast opening 32 minutes, and it's starting to take its toll on the players out there. It's a warmish day, and a water break is welcomed.
Yeah, there's Vakina just getting some attention on, looks like his right arm. And yeah, like you said, I'm sure the forwards especially will be crying out for a wee breather, because it has been fast-paced action here at Rugby Park as the sun shines through in this Waitangi Day pre-season fixture. Good to see Vakina looking all right. Had a powerful start to the game. New to the Highlanders in 2025, former Auckland Blues or Blues player. We're going to have another scrum to get back underway. It looks like... Sorry, we're going to have a line out.
Line line it in the halfway. Highlanders ball. So Kimmer, I think he just heaved that into touch just to get it out in the full. He didn't really care where he was on the field.
Much needed breather, and plays back underway, and they go to the back. They go to Fabian Holland, and the big Dutchman takes the ball nicely for the Highlanders, and Renton look for the wee ghost ball there to Tava Nawai, really trying to get him involved in the early phases, and Miller goes himself, plenty of line speed from the Crusaders, but he goes a bit high, Cam Miller, and he's stacked up by Leo Willie. The Crusaders have turned the ball over, they've stripped it off him, and Reese just toes it on the foot, but
it's going to be way too big.
Way too much weight on that. He's got a slight breeze, but I don't think he can blame the breeze on that occasion, and we'll come back for a scrum. But Crusaders bringing plenty of line speed as we look on the replay there. Miller just got a wee bit high, and transition from the Crusaders. A short kick might have been interesting with Will Jordan chasing that one.
Yeah, as I say, the pace of the game, and I just wonder if that last huddle, if the forwards didn't say to the backs, just get us down there, lads. Let's get us down there. Because that's not what Sevi Reese has done for the first 30 minutes, but he put way too much weight on that.
Looking for a bit of territory, and we'll have another scrum. Be interesting to see just your standard 80-minute game, extended benches today, both sides. So the Highlanders have got plenty of impact running through their paces. So how many of them we see after half-time or right on half-time, we will see shortly. Obviously, intention to, I'm sure, give as many as they can an opportunity, but at the same time develop some cohesion. And here goes Tava Nawai. Kimura tried to go a wee bit high and just got bumped off, and Whakatava does well, clears the space. Back to Miller, just look a wee bit unorganised there, but they get the ball away, and Jonah Nareki, dangerous down the left edge, fires it back on the inside, and Hotham just grabs it, lovely wee back flick, and Fihaki puts it on his foot. He's gone down in a heap there, Shea Fihaki, and Highlanders are going to go quickly. As Fihaki still down in back plate, the Highlanders keep going. They move it to the far edge. TK Howden, he's had a good start to the game. Mouldy All Black, former Hurricane, and plenty of pressure being applied at the breakdown. Tangitau, off he goes. The right winger trying to get some momentum for the Highlanders as we close in on half-time here at Rugby Park. 35 minutes gone. And entertaining game. Both sides, plenty of endeavour, and the group just had a wee peep there. Probably just a case of that fatigue setting in.
Well, it definitely looks to me like the Highlanders have decided to lift the tempo of this game and try and fatigue the Crusaders and find the gaps, but it's telling on them as well. I think that was a case in point there. The group just shelled that way. They normally grab that. But again, a little break and 5 or 6 minutes to go, so they'll all be looking forward to oranges.
Yeah, probably just a fraction low from Whakatava, but for Ethan de Groot, I'm sure one that he will know he should have caught and will catch next time. So another scrum, midfield 30 metres out. So Crusaders, you would say, with about 4 minutes to go in this first half, a real opportunity to get their third try of the afternoon. They got Will Jordan stacked in the back. They got David Havili and Reese on the left, so options to go either way. Plenty of strike power. Aomua, big bustling centre. Former Moana Pacifica player, and they go right and they go away. Lovely hands from Aomua to Fihaki, and off goes Shea Fihaki. Lasangwa does well though. Comes across and makes the cover tackle. They fire it away to Leo Willie. Looks for the pass. Lovely offload. Just a wee bit loose though, but the ball's still alive. Keeping the ball alive really well, the Crusaders. Moana Mu goes on another run. He's had a good 30 minutes since coming on early for George Bell, who scored the first try of the afternoon. Ethan Blackadder up towards the 5 metre line. And another advantage. Highlanders probably guilty of giving away a few penalties. Defence has been pretty solid within their own 22, but just discipline, allowing the Crusaders to build some pressure. And we'll see what they do here.
I think they'll go to the corner here, just trying to get another try in the closing stages of the first half.
They look like they're going to go for another scrum. Scrum's been pretty rock solid for them. Got options aplenty, sure, in this back line. Of course, only a couple of All Blacks missing. Scott Barrett, Cody Taylor. Looks like he's got a hamstring strain. So George Bell, although Bell and McLeod both standing up on the bench, so I'm sure positive sign there for Crusaders that they're nothing too major. I'm sure just hopefully more of a precaution from their point of view, both coming off early. And a nice solid platform there, and Leo Willie goes quickly off the back. The big number 8 powers his way towards the line, throws the offload, and again, probably just both teams just really trying to push that pass, and the Highlanders are going to have a wee go here, but they had a wee go.
And they're having a wee go.
Yeah.
Tension spilling over there.
As we see the replay, and just popped it straight to TK Howden, who took off, but Highlanders penalised for, looked like maybe side entry. Sever Reese plenty to say to referee Hannon. Looks like Hugh Renton's getting addressed here. Number of penalties in that first half, this first half.
Well, I think, to be honest, had this been a competition game, there would have been a yellow card, I think, Scoot. There's been a lot of penalties, particularly in the defensive quarter, so that's something they'll need to address.
I'm sure will be mentioned at half-time by Coach Joseph or one of the coaches, and we'll go to another scrum. Crusaders backing their scrum, and why wouldn't you, when you've got a front row of Tamaiti Williams and Fletcher Newell. The Highlanders boasting a pretty solid front row themselves, De Groot and Solomon. See Jermaine Ainsley moving on, so big year for Solar, you would say, OB. Massive opportunity for him.
Yeah, he's a guy who showed a lot of promise as a youngster, and he's still a young man, but this is his time now. He's the starting prop, so he's got to make every game his own, and he'll be looking forward to having a big year.
And he's getting plenty of opportunity here today. And a good shunt there from the Crusaders, and they got the advantage, and they play left. Hotham goes out the back to Jordan, and Reese is going to go over. And just the reward from a dominant scrum, a penalty advantage, and the Crusaders go over. And Sever Reese, the Southland Stag, and All Black goes over on Rugby Park. And it was probably all too easy in the end. Just building pressure, and Crusaders strike right before half time here.
As they often do, but yeah, you're right, it was the scrum advantage that they got there, and then they scored the easier of all tries. You go to the left, it's 3 on 2. Good hands, everybody drew their man, and Reese went in unmarked.
It might be not far away from half time here. We'll see whether the referee Hannon has time for the kickoff, and Kimura will line this one up. Pretty good so far off the tee. 2 good kicks. One from a testing angle, and then scored a try himself. Lovely wee break, took the line on, went through, converted that, so comes in. Good strike from Kimura. He's pushed that one across the face, and that'll do us for the first half here at Rugby Park Stadium in Invercargill. And well, it's been an entertaining first 40 minutes here in this pre-season game. Both sides plenty of opportunity, and it's the Crusaders just made the most of theirs. 3 tries to 1, 19 points to 10 at Rugby Park.
Well, half time, the messages will be out there, I'm sure. The word discipline that we mentioned in the Highlanders shed. They've given away a lot of penalties, given the Crusaders a lot of opportunities to live in their half. And as ruthless as the Crusaders are, they've taken those opportunities. But I think they'll be happy with the attack. I think the intent's been good. They've created a lot of opportunities themselves, and they've been down there. They've scored a couple of good tries. So it'll be just been to see what tactics they apply in the second half. But I tell you what, Scoot, this crowd has grown, I think, in the first half, and I don't know how many people are here now, but it's got to be over 5,000. And they have certainly got their money's worth. It's been one of the most entertaining 40 minutes I've seen in a while.
Absolutely. As we look at a few highlights in the halftime break, and again, real feature both sides, particularly the Highlanders really trying to keep that ball alive. And Lasangwa, he's been one of the Highlanders' best in the first half. That was a great start to the game, applying plenty of pressure on the Crusaders. And as we see there, the old unicorn, like you said, OB, the charge down off a goal line dropout. Highlanders asked plenty of questions, and really feature of both teams, of both the halfbacks just stepping out and guys running off them, creating plenty of deception and opportunity. And we see the Crusaders, that was their first strike move of the game. Lovely play from Fihaki. Looks like we've got a bit of half-time entertainment coming as well here at Rugby Park.
Yeah, the crowd being entertained by the band down there on the hill, enjoying themselves. Beautiful day here at Invercargill. Singlets are plenty down there, and people are enjoying themselves.
They're balmy 20 degrees, you'd have to say. We wind. But
I think both teams will be reasonably happy, and certainly no major injuries, which is always crucial heading into the competition. I think if anything, the Highlanders will want to be a little bit more ruthless on attack. They'll want to convert some of those half chances they're making into real chances and get some 5-pointers. It'll be interesting to see what teams appear in the second half, whether they make changes early or whether they resist that temptation and go with the starting lineups. But the Crusaders will also be happy with their efficiency in and around certainly set piece and strike moves and attack. But if anything, I think maybe the Highlanders have shaded the Crusaders at the breakdown, Scoot.
Yeah, they applied plenty of pressure, the Highlanders, and really tried to disrupt, especially defensively. So I'm sure plenty to talk about from both coaching groups. We will see, I'm sure, plenty of substitutions in the second half. One feature there, the Highlanders game in the first 40 has been a real endeavour to run the ball back hard on counter-attack, and they've managed to get some good momentum off that, with Gilbert and Nareki in particular, bringing the ball back hard over the halfway.
Yeah, and be interested to see whether Miller employs the wind or the Highlanders employ that wind a bit more in the second half to get a bit of field position. Because, as we say, that opening first 40 was so tough, and it would have gassed both teams a little bit. So they may just kick early and get a bit of field position and try and get some of those 11-point deficit back.
Absolutely.
Do you get that? But at 19-10, a fair reflection of the game, I think. Crusaders have been a little bit more clinical on attack, and they deserve their 9-point lead at this stage. Cam Miller's had a good first 40, Scoot. He's run a bit more than we normally see him run, and he's looked good. Some good pace, some good offloads, and he's been a threat there from 10.
Yeah, looks like he's playing with some real confidence, Cam Miller, which is great to see from the youngster. Spent a few years in the Highlanders environment now and started to really come of age late last season. So I'm sure he'll be happy with his first 40, and I'm sure at some stage this afternoon we'll see Tane Robinson get a wee opportunity. Obviously he'll be pretty familiar with some of the guys he's going to be playing against, having played a couple of games for the Crusaders last year.
And you couldn't fault Coach Joseph's selection at 12. Tavatavanawa has been a revelation there, so who knows? We may see him in the number 12 shirt a bit more often.
Yeah, I'm sure all eyes will be looking at next week's team sheet for round 1. Tavatavanawa, somewhere he hasn't played a lot. Understand might have a wee bit there at times, but yeah, he's made a really good fist of it and created a lot of attention with the ball in hand, and then had a couple of powerful runs himself. As you see the wee Rippers having a wee go here at half time, and
that looks like a Maris team out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good Maris team by the look of it. Yeah. Good to see, actually. Looks like one and only Farm for Life Tangara Walker out there, actually. Bit of a dairy farming ambassador these days. Looks like might be running around his wee team. Good to see the rugby starting early. Never too early for a good game of rugby, is it, OB?
Summer sport now, isn't it, mate? Goes all year round. But, no, it's great to see them out there. Who knows? 15, 20 years from now, they may be running around for either one of those sides. But it's good to see the ground looks a bit dry. It must have been a good summer here, Scoot.
Yeah, well, you'd say a good January. There's plenty of rain around the southern area, November, December, but January's really dried up in the deep south, and the field is looking in reasonably good condition. Like you say, there are a few wee brown spots as we see Ethan de Groot, maybe his one and only kick of his professional career.
Yeah, I don't think his agent will be putting that in his highlights reel anytime soon.
Yeah, we grubber attempt. I'm sure he was definitely going for the 50-22 though. And we see there just breakdown's been really competitive. Highlanders really hooking in defensively, and we see Tavatava Nawa there, great footwork, brushing off Kemera, the co-captain, and Miller looked like he was going to go all the way for a moment, but both teams, you would say, on the outside really scrambling well defensively.
Yeah, this is, as I say, genuine pace on the outside, so it's hard to get round teams. You've got to go through them, and it's the difference is making the difference there. But Miller's been good. Tangatau showed his pace at several times. Nariki with his left boot, so they won't be unhappy with their attack. But they'll definitely want to address that discipline. That's really been their Achilles heel in the first 40. They've given the Crusaders way too many opportunities to get deep into their quarter.
Should be a good talking point. Yeah, plenty of guys with plenty to play for this year. Both sides, actually a lot of those Crusaders players on the verge of their All Black selection. So sure, one guy like Severis, who will have plenty to prove, had an outstanding season for the Crusaders last year. A team that probably didn't go overly well, but Christian Leo Willie, as we see there, he was another. He applies his NPC trade for Otago. He's a quality player who did spend some time in the All Black environment.
Well, the Crusaders didn't have a Crusader-like year last year, did they? So I'm almost positive they'll be wanting to get out early and stake their claim and put in some early good performances. So, when you've got a side that's got the class of the Crusaders, you can almost guarantee that's going to happen. So, be interesting to see how they go in the opening rounds.
Yeah, and first up, playing the Hurricanes, so that'll be a great one to take in. Rugby will come around soon enough. Of course, plenty of rugby already going on the other side of the world. Of course, Japanese top league. AB, you watch any of that? There's a wee old game on YouTube. It's in full swing now.
Yeah, well, there's so many great players playing in that league, so it's a good watch. And I had occasion to watch some of the Six Nations. Wales weren't as good as they'd want to be, but Ireland had a good win. So the big game there is going to be France versus Ireland, you imagine.
Yeah, going to be one to keep tabs on. European rugby in full swing at the international level at the moment. As we see the crowd, and great sight to see the terrace and the embankment chocker, and Lockie Hayes, believe, on the mic, on the tunes, belting out a few. So good to see the entertainment piece as well. Obviously these days, OB, and it's not just about the rugby, it's about the whole entertainment package and the whole experience.
Oh, it's fantastic. These pre-season games, you're able to take them to different venues around the region, and it's great to be here in Invercargill. Big week for Invercargill with the Burton Monroe, and as I say, it's great to see the southernmost fans out and supporting the team. I'm sure the team will take a lot out of it after a couple of days here. Yeah,
so sure, planning for the Highlanders, a couple of days off after today, and then back in on the tools, getting ready for a trip to Sydney.
Yeah, I'd say next couple of days they'll sort of spend some time away, and then they'll come back in on Sunday and get ready to prepare for the Waratahs as they head over on Thursday, play Friday, back Saturday. So just a quick visit, but they'll be aware of the challenge that the Waratahs are going to bring in Sydney. So but by the same token, they'll be glad the pre-season's behind them and they can get into the competition games, ones that matter.
Absolutely. Sure to be. The players will be pushing hard for selection in that first round game. See the players not too far away from coming back out. Good to see the ball boys with the singlets on. It's a warm day in Invercargill when the singlets are out.
Yeah, haven't seen the ball boys in the Stags season in singlets very often, so
no.
Hence the summer rugby.
Yeah, a bit of a rarity to see that, but sure they'll be getting a bit of practice in nonetheless. Good to see so many youngsters here as well. Plenty of Highlanders shirts and plenty of old school, new school, many different eras on display. Good to see the old, obviously last year a bit of a hit with the Heritage jersey. They wore that for a few rounds.
That's exactly right, and kids were free today, I think, so that's helped, and the colour's good, and there's a lot of Stag jerseys out there as well, which is good to see the local team get in the support they deserve.
As we see the Crusaders back onto the field and the Highlanders to follow, and Tavatava Nawai leads the team out. Looks like we're going to try and go through any changes. It looks like we might have a couple, and we'll start with the Highlanders, and we'll try our best here with our eye test. Looks like Sean Withy is on the field. Southland Stag captain. Also looks like Tane Robinson on the field. So looks like some of these players are in starting numbered jerseys. So don't be fooled if the face looks different with the same number.
Doesn't look like the Highlanders have made as many. They've come out with Sean Withy, I can see there, but the Crusaders have made a few more changes than the Highlanders.
So we have a look over at the Crusaders, see Macca Springer in number 23 on the field. Looks like James O'Connor, the Australian former Wallaby. High profile signing over the off-season. He's on the number 10 jumper. It looks like might be the youngster Maloney Kunawavi. He's one to keep an eye on, just under 20 still. Played for the New Zealand All Black Sevens just a couple of weeks ago in Perth. Looks like him on the field. We'll just get his number in a second, and we'll try and get the rest of the reserve numbers to you. Looks like George Bauer also on for the Crusaders. Kyle Preston, who see social media ran an outstanding Bronco in the pre-season. He's also on the field. So plenty of changes, pre-season footy, and we're back underway. Whakatava, they find a nice start from the Highlanders. They go out the back, and off goes Caleb Tangitau, showing his pace early. Tangitau puts the hammer down, goes squares up, lovely pass on the outside. Finds Gilbert, puts it on the foot, but straight down the throat of Kunawavi, the youngster, and he does well. The Crusaders winger.
Keeping it alive.
But they keep going, the Highlanders. Fling it out to Fabian Holland, goes over the top. TK Howden on the outside, ducks back infield. Highlanders, great start to the second half. From the Southerners, Vakina goes out the back to Robinson, but the ball's popped up and off goes Sever Reese. The Crusaders are going to transition back the other end, and James O'Connor keeps the ball alive, goes to Reese, still going Sever the Stag, back on the inside. Good run there. Highlanders trying to get over the ball, and they do get over the ball. And well, we talked about the endeavour in the first half, and we're back into it straight away. But
he's put that straight into touch, but the second half has started exactly the same as the first half, end to end, and that was Caleb Tangitau. As we said, he's got express pace, and he just opened up there, and unlucky for Sam Gilbert. If he could have got that ball over the winger, he was clear ground, but he just hit it straight to the winger, and the Crusaders back in position.
Both teams really pushing that pass. As we see here, a free kick to the Highlanders, and they'll get a wee reprieve as we look at the replay, and is it not straight by the look of it? Hard to get a gauge, but anyway, Highlanders have got the ball. Talia has a wee dance, footwork to the inside, taken in a tackle by Christie. And we're back in position. He lets go and goes again. Goes through the middle, having some real joy through that middle of the breakdown, the Highlanders, and Withy fires it away. Lovely tip ball onto Dunshay. Another Southland Stag, former Crusader, Mitch Dunshay. Vakina, lovely tip on again to Holland. Highlanders playing with some really good momentum. Whakatava, great ball on the outside to Nareki, puts it on the foot. Jonah Nareki, is he going to get there? Just couldn't get the bounce. And the Crusaders are going to come away from it unscathed, but the Highlanders looking threatening early in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Plenty to like about the attack. And the Crusaders will try and exit out of this one, but real excitement there for the crowd. Just couldn't get the bounce, Jonah Nareki, and Crusaders will try and clear for touch here. Kyle Preston had an impressive NPC for Wellington, but he hasn't put it out. Straight down the throat of Robinson. Goes away to Gilbert. Tangitau. He's had a great start to the half. Finds Talia on the outside. Daniela Talia. Lovely offload to the difference. Tim Tavatava. Sean Withy for the corner. Still going. Sean Withy.
He's in.
Over.
He's in.
And that gets a rapturous applause from the terrace. The Stags captain.
Wow, what a rip-snorting start to the second half for the Highlanders. Magnificent. Just unlucky over there that Nariki couldn't get the bounce, but that was Highlander rugby at its best. They were making space, they were dominating the collisions, good quick ball, and finally rewarded in the right-hand corner with Sean Withy with a lot of work to do.
And he did well. Sean Withy looked like his foot might have been flirting with the touchline, but what a start from the Highlanders. They've come out. Coach Joseph has given a couple of key words and have been effective because looking threatening. And Gilbert will try and put this one over. And again, we'll just try and keep up to date with who's coming on and off, but Gilbert's taken over the goal kicking reins. Obviously, Cam Miller's come off. Tane Robinson into 10.
Well, we wanted the Highlanders to be a bit more clinical on attack, and certainly they were there.
We breeze behind him, Sam Gilbert, and that is
Beauty.
Dead-eye Dick. Lovely conversion from the sideline. And the Highlanders close the gap to just 2 points here at Rugby Park. And looks like the Highlanders have made some front row replacements, and the entire front row has come off. De Groot, Mau and Vakina, who's had a great afternoon. Henry Bell, looks like Daniel Leonard Brown and Sosifo Galtai are on the field as we get underway. Lovely take from Fabian Holland, the big lock. Spent some time in the All Black environment, All Black 15 member in 2024. Of course, now eligible to play for the All Blacks. Massive year ahead for Fabian, and the Highlanders will look to exit well here. And Whakatava goes to the air. But looks like he might have put that one out on the full and just didn't quite hit that one. And Kunawavi looking for the quick throw, and he finds it. Preston, but not 5. I think Hannon's going to give him a reprieve there.
Well, warm applause there for local favourite Ethan de Groot as he's taken his seat on the bench. He'll be happy with his 40 minutes of work.
And they go around the front again, the Crusaders, and Moanamu finds Kyle Preston. He's looked lively early, and Moanamu still going. Really pushing that pass. And the Highlanders have just knocked it on in the process of trying to turn it over. And Crusaders trying to hit straight back. Well, it's been a real feature that keeping the ball alive in the tackle and really challenging defensive lines when those passes are accurate.
Well, both teams lifting the tempo, making sure that the defensive lines have got no time to settle, going through the middle, and so the defences are always backpedaling, and both teams are making good yardage.
And we'll try and get a gauge on just who's on exactly for the Crusaders. Looks like it might be Johnny Leon at number 8 potentially. He was a late addition. Could be Liam Jack possibly on at lock as well. A few number changes from what was advertised, but do our best to try and get across it. There's another free kick from scrum, and Preston goes quickly, finds O'Connor. Could be an interesting wee combination for the Crusaders this season. Preston and O'Connor, and they go away to Cahill. Had a strong first half, a young lock. Crusaders looking for their 4th of the afternoon, and they keep building. Almua, powerful runner, Levi Almua. And it looks like Crusaders have got a wee injury concern there. Someone limping back, one of the props. And they keep playing, they play out the back. And O'Connor goes himself. James O'Connor holds the ball in one hand, and the ball squirts out though. Under pressure, Preston, the Highlanders try and scramble for it over the ball. They should win the penalty, and they do win the penalty.
Yeah, great work by Daniel Leonard Brown, I think, there. Is it Daniel Leonard Brown? No, Sefo Kautai.
Yeah, it's Sefo Kautai. Yeah. Great work to jackal the ball, and Crusaders, looks like Kershaw Sykes Martin, by the looks of things, he's gone down with a bit of a leg injury. Not the first one today for the Crusaders, so a wee bit of concern there over him. Tried to get back in the line, but
the Highlanders will be really happy with their heart defence there. The Crusaders just went straight at them and tried to get through them, didn't bother going wide, and Highlanders' defence was strong.
As we see, looks like Talia getting a bit of a hamstring rub as well. So
Nathan Hastie's coming on. Whakatava's afternoon is over.
Yeah, always a real feature of pre-season rugby, isn't it, OB? The changes come thick and fast and try and keep up. But yeah, good day out from Falau. That last kick on the full, probably not his best, but just showing what he can do when he steps out and put players into space and test those defenders.
He'd be happy. So Coach Joseph happy. He was sharp and he got the breakdown quick and unlocked a the Highlanders Crusaders defence a couple of times.
Yeah, it doesn't look so good here for
No.
the Crusaders. Third player to go off today.
And I see Louis Nyata looking ready to come on.
Yeah, Sykes Martin by the looks of it. And we've got another change and a bit of confusion, and that's probably not Henry Bell's greatest throw, but uncontested, so we'll play on. Could we rule addition in 2024? So Hasty looks to go wrap around, and they go to Henry Bell. Holland finds him on a nice wee tip ball, and he's still going, Henry Bell. His brother scored the first try of the afternoon. He'll try and get his own, and a lovely pass there from Hasty finds Dunshay. Highlanders starting up the tempo again. Hasty goes himself.
Oh, it's a bit high there.
Scrag round the neck. Hasty looks sharp early in his first couple of minutes. They go again through the middle. Highlanders, Tavatavanawai. Lovely pass from him.
Dunshay
been busy. And Bell again, Henry Bell. Good passage of play here from the Highlanders. Going nice and direct, going through the Crusaders' defensive line. The co-captain leading by example, and the Crusaders pile through, but Hasty does well to get it away. Just a bit loose on that pass though, but they'll come back to the penalty. And probably good to see the Highlanders going a bit more the direct route there.
That's not over yet. Here comes Tangatau.
And he goes, off he goes, Caleb Tangitau. Explosive through contact, still going. Caleb Tangitau up towards the 5 metre line. Hasty finds Nareki, Jonah Nareki for the corner.
Great try.
And they're going to score. And it's going to be, looks like Nikora Broughton has gone over, but put that one down to Caleb Tangitau again. Just a real explosion of pace into the line. And Broughton gets the finish. Just real standout today. Tangitau showing what he's going to be able to do for the Highlanders this season. And lovely finish from Nareki to Broughton. And the Highlanders hit the front for the first time since the 5th minute.
Well, they've really slipped into fourth gear, haven't they, since they come out at just after the half. And you really feel like they've got their attack game going now. This is what they were trying to do in the first half, but the Crusaders' defence was just a little bit too sharp. But they've got the roll on now. They're pushing that Crusaders' defensive line back, and they're creating gaps and opportunities out wide. So, first-class try that.
And Gilbert, he just nailed one from the terrace touchline. He's going to try and do the same from the grandstand touchline. I'm sure the crowd on the grandstand side will tell us the verdict on this one. And he's got it. He's on song, Sammy Gilbert. 2 from the sideline, and that's 24 points to 19. The Highlanders leading the Crusaders here. If you've just joined us at Rugby Park in Invercargill, welcome in for some Super Rugby pre-season action on this Waitangi Day. And a big crowd here at Rugby Park Stadium. Plenty of families, plenty of supporters here. They're loving this game. Plenty of ball in hand, plenty of action. And that's a nice long kick from Gilbert. Konawavi does well though. Finds O'Connor. Has a wee jink and a drive. Decides to go on his left foot. Tries to find some open pasture and does well. James O'Connor, pinpoint from the Australian. Tane Robinson couldn't do much about that.
Good experience there, 60-odd and 68 internationals, 130-odd Super Rugby games. Not a bad guy to bring off the bench, Scoop.
Yeah, high quality. James O'Connor. No, it was a good discussion point when his signing was announced from the Crusaders, but see plenty of experience, and I'm sure will compliment Taha Kimura, who showed some nice touches in the first half, and Rivers Reihana, who isn't playing today, but spent some time in the 10 jersey last year as the Highlanders. The 5-man line out. They go straight to the Crusaders, and they've been picked off, and off go the Crusaders. Strong carry. Bit of tit for tat here. Both teams scoring points, and then the opposition climbing in for an opportunity, and it's a good tackle from Henry Bell. Does well to slow the ball down. Preston having a search for the ball. Goes again to Taylor Cahill. Taking in a strong tackle by Holland. Crusaders looking to reload and come back to the blind side. They go to Moana Mu. Plays out the back to O'Connor. Goes over the top to Macca Springer. Finds Kunawavi on the inside. Maloney Kunawavi finds his Tasman teammate Levi Almua, but taken back in some strong defence from the Highlanders. Really defending well in twos. Getting off the line. Putting the Crusaders under some real pressure in their phase play, which I'm sure will please defence coach Dave Dillon. They go again though, the Crusaders. Just building. Really trying to just go one off the ruck at the moment. get some momentum through their forwards. They go to Amua. He's a wee bit isolated, but he does well. In the end, though, doesn't do well, knocks the ball on and will have a scrum. So, win there for the Highlanders defensively.
Absolutely. As I said before, their heart defence, the defence in the middle of the park is best described as staunch, and the Crusaders are not making pay there. They're getting put back, and so they'll be very happy with that. A couple of untidy line-outs that they won't be happy with. That's given the ball back to the Crusaders, but their heart defence and their attack, certainly since half-time, has been right on the money.
As we see just another wee injury break, couple of players down. I'm sure as the sun starts to appear a bit more, we've got Tavanawa just getting a wee bit of minor attention, but he looks fine otherwise. Taylor Cahill down for the Crusaders, and a few hands on knees at this stage. I'm sure as the game goes on, last 27 minutes, we'll see the rest of the impact cleared and benches come on, and
the crowd's warming up, but they're starting to get into it. They're starting to get into the day. It's going well.
Yeah, plenty of, you can see a few Spates Ultra cans starting to be assembled on the terrace floor. And that crowd right in front of us, right on the halfway, starting to find their voice. I'm sure the Crusaders players will start to hear a wee bit as we tick over this next 20-odd minutes.
Is that the Invercargill version of the Mexican wave there? Is that
yeah, they reckon it is. They reckon it is Stags Renegades, as they're called.
Marvellous.
Bit of a crew who
marvellous stuff.
Get along for the NPC season, so I'm sure they'll be enjoying the chance to see a wee bit of Super Rugby action. And the Highlanders have a nice platform, fake left, go right, Tavanawa, short ball to Talia. Goes for the offload, knocked down and backwards from the Crusaders. Tavanawa does what he does so well, gets over the ball and wins the turnover back. And off goes Tangitau again. Caleb Tangitau puts it on the foot. Kunawavi goes back and covers nicely. Finds a nice pass to Severis, and he goes downtown, but straight down the throat of Robinson. Big pass across to Nareki. Could open up here for Jonah Nareki. Loves a counter-attack, and off he goes, up over the 10-metre line. Does well, the left winger, recycles the ball. Hasty, quick hands from Gilbert. And lovely play from the Highlanders down the edge, and bit of concern there. Jonah Nareki's just stayed down. Hopefully nothing major for him. Plagued by injuries. The Highlanders keep playing. Hasty finds Dunshay again, just loose out the back pass, and Almua's going to grab it and turn the ball over. Just undid that momentum from the Highlanders' perspective. They go over the top to Tangitau. Picks it off though. Caleb Tangitau. Tavanawai gets up towards the 22. Bit of a game of basketball at the moment. Both teams turning the ball over back and forth. And the Highlanders back on attack. Playing with 14 at the moment though. Jonah Nareki down with looks like a bit of a leg injury. Got the whole team parked up. But Louis Naita on the right hand side, and Tate Robinson ducks and dives and goes forward. Hasty steps out. He's looked lively around the breakdown. Tangitau again. Crusaders trying to get over the ball and win the penalty, and Hannon said play on, but Nico Broughton takes it forward. Good carry from the number 8, and they go again through the middle. Fabian Holland up towards the 10 metres out. Leonard Brown tips the ball on nicely to his propping partner. Hasty goes to Talia. Tanyana Talia just short of the line. Highlanders looking to strike again and extend their lead, but they just penalised right on the try line. And
a little bit of feeling there, but the Highlanders are really starting to get on top in the forward exchanges now, and love the work of Nathan Hasty there. Took some great options, and they're just rolling over the top of the Crusaders at the moment. So there's a few hands on hips for the Crusaders.
Yeah, and what's really evident, I'm sure it'll be, is like you said, the work of Nathan Hasty, Whakatava before that, playing a lot off 9 and just a lot of bodies in motion and players running hard onto the ball. A lot of wee passing at the line, really creating some momentum for the Highlanders. And the Crusaders have done well just to hold on there, because for all money like the Highlanders we're going to go in again. So we just have a look at Jonah Nareki. He's got up to his feet, so I'm sure Highlanders fans will be happy about that. He's back on his feet and he's stayed on the field.
Yeah, that momentum that you talk about is really stressing the Crusaders' defensive line at the moment. So at the right end of the field.
Yeah, and we've got a couple of changes here for the Highlanders in the back line. We've got Michael Manson on to the right wing, and we've got Jake Tahiwi. So they've replaced Timothy Tavanawa, who's had an outstanding day on the 12 jumper, and Jonah Nareki, who thankfully looks like he's running off pretty well. So Hopefully nothing really there for Jonah, but a good day's work from him.
Well, here's the opportunity for the local man, Manson, to scorch down the touchline here in front of the terrace. He'll get a huge roar if he does.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. Last NPC game, scored a pretty momentous try against North Harbour. Don't think he got a finger on him that day. Don't think many Stags got fingers on them that day, up by 40 at half-time.
Turnover.
Bit of rarity, and the Highlanders are going to get the ball back, and they're going to get the scrum, and really impressive defensive pressure. Been a real mindset in the second half from the Highlanders. Like you said, OB, the heart defence has been a real feature.
Well, in combination with that momentum and that upping the tempo, I think they've lifted the physicality too on the Crusaders, and they've been much sharper in the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half than they were in the last 20 of the first, so they'll be happy.
Yeah, we see, looks like Fletcher Newell potentially coming off here for the Crusaders. Looks like just a substitution, so just see number 19, could be Johnny Lee by the look of it, but obviously not a prop for prop swap there, so
I think it is Johnny Lee, yeah.
we'll see what they...
We're listed as Johnny Lee, number 19, so...
Yeah, we'll just have a look at the scrum and see exactly who's coming on. Bit of confusion. Looks like Fraser Hannon trying to figure out what's going on as well, so we're not the only ones.
They're not going to go to Golden Oldies, are they?
Yeah, not something I'm sure you'd see in pre-season with extended squads, but looks like they've only got George Bauer and Moana Mu on, so looks like...
Let's just see how this scrum sets, but
to our knowledge, Johnny Lee, who's listed as 19, doesn't play prop, and it does look like we are going to go to Golden Oldies. So
well, that's a shame. That's a shame.
Real shame particularly for the scrum purists out there and for the game in general. But nonetheless, we'll restart with a scrum, and Tangitau goes out the back. Lovely hands from Robinson, finds Talia. Lovely balls right at the line. And here goes Manson. First opportunity, Michael Manson, but he's cut down, and the flag goes up. Oh, and he had his first real opportunity there. Manson looked like he was going to go around Kunawavi, but Kunawavi, the youngster, still under 20, did really well. Great chop tackle, and Manson wasn't held, but just slipped a purple boot over the touchline.
Beautiful hands from Robinson.
Yeah, had a really tidy start. Another free kick from a line out. This time, Crusaders will get a free kick, so they put it out. The Highlanders will get possession back, but yeah, some lovely handling. Even Talia, just that second last defender coming hard and managing to get the ball away.
Well, there's one aspect that the Highlanders won't be happy with, it's their line out. They've got a couple of fluff line outs, and now they're giving away a penalty, so that's one part of the game they'll be looking to fix up.
Yes, absolutely. Henry Bell, you're looking at nail this one. Obviously Fabian Holland, money man in the middle. Dunshea, so they do have plenty of options. Nicola Broughton at the back, and they go to the middle, but again, just untidy, but they do retain possession. Dunshea gets it. Hasty looking to reorganise his runners and goes to the big man, Louis Noyata, and he carries forward. His first big opportunity. Got some game time last week. Played some footy in Japan. And Highlanders hammering away here up and towards the 22, and again Talia through the middle, using those big powerful backs just around the fringes, and Hasty stepping out. They go away to Holland. Fabian Holland, 5 metres out. Highlanders looking for their fourth. Robinson, short ball to Gilbert. Goes to Manson. He just had to go backwards for the pass. Ducks inside Manson. Powers his way forward. Does well to retain position. Still in control, the Highlanders. Just had to go backwards a wee bit. Hasty looking for options. Ball's messy though. He's under pressure. Does well to keep his feet there though. Hasty. The Highlanders will reset again. Really good long passage of play. Not always pretty, but effectively holding on to the ball. And the ball's come out though, and great anticipation from Kyle Preston, and turns the ball over. So after all that, the Highlanders cough the ball up, and the Crusaders are going to have a wee run here. O'Connor goes on a wee jink and a drive, gets outside his man, holds the ball in one hand, goes away to Macca Springer. Springer one-on-one with Robinson, beats him with ease. Goes away there to the big lock. Lovely offload, and Springer's going to go, but chopped down. Henry Bell makes a great covering tackle. Crusaders still playing though. O'Connor takes it to the line, another offload. Amua, not sure what to do. Takes the ball to ground. Crusaders transition one end to the other. Still playing. They go. On it goes. Nice wee cross kick. And just didn't get the bounce, Tom Christie. And I'm sure for a lot of the players' sake, we'll go to a break and a line out.
Well, what about the work of Henry Bell there? He's run 70 metres, I reckon, to get back and make that tackle. That was a try-saver. Great work from Bell. But again, the Highlanders at this end just causing the Crusaders problem, getting in behind their line, causing chaos in there. But again, a slight turnover, and the Crusaders, all threat, they've gone, swept the field 80 metres. But
as we see here, Henry Bell, like you said, OB, awesome work rate to get back. Then the Highlanders recovered really well there. And they've gone for the cross kick on that occasion.
yeah, possibly not the right option.
I mean, 22 might be Toby Bell, according to our program, but
Yeah, that's Toby Bell.
former New Zealand under-20 players. Taylor Cahill comes off for the Crusaders. He's had a massive shift. Another former under-20 representative.
He's been good today, Cahill.
He has been prominent both on the edges and in the middle. And another man who's had a great great pre-season game, Sam Gilbert. 2 conversions off the sideline, some good counter-attack from him this afternoon. And Finn Hurley onto the field at fullback. And the Highlanders go over the top. They go to Withy, but the pass just doesn't go to hand. And Robinson just calms it down and goes long down the middle. And Reese has to go back for that one. He does well, Sever Reese. Holds the ball down in one hand and just has a wee jink and a drive and goes away to Kunawavi. He puts the wee burners on. Up over the 10-metre line, but Highlanders come through that breakdown. Really just slowing that Crusaders momentum on the edges. Doing well, and Fabian Holland just testing, and Kyle Preston had a wee spill, and
turnover.
he might have got some wee help there from one of the Highlanders players, but just couldn't control the ball, Kyle Preston, and some more good pressure from the Highlanders.
You think about the quality of the goal kicking. You've got Miller, kick goal from everywhere, and then when he goes off, you've got Gilbert kicking them over from the sideline. So they're certainly blessed in that area, the Highlanders.
And obviously, if they need, I'm sure Tayan Robinson, Finn Hurley, not bad off the tee either themselves. So we'll have a look here. Obviously, new front rows, Golden Oldies. Crusaders, unfortunately, down a couple of props today, so not sure if Fletcher Newell just not going to be put back on, or what the story is there, but Kershaw Sykes Martin coming off what looked like a niggly leg injury, so hopefully he's not too bad, but we've gone to Golden Oldies nonetheless for this last 20, and just a wee bit low there from Hasty, and Talia had to reach for it and he shelled it. Nice wee pressure there from Hasty, but we'll go to the scrum. So just getting a wee bit scrappy in the last couple of minutes.
Again, I think the pace and the intensity and the physicality of the first 20 minutes of the second half is starting to take its toll. And unfortunately, just little errors creeping in.
And we'll go to another Golden Oldie scrum. So hard to tell at this point whether the props are happy about that or unhappy. Get a breather, but they also don't get to scrum. So.
And Finn Hurley, just another of these Southland-born young guns, Scoot. You know, so many of them out there and so many coming through.
Yeah, great product out of Gore. Part of that real crew, Cam Miller, Hayden Michaels, Jack Taylor out of the Albion Rugby Club in Gore. Very successful junior team they had, as you can imagine. And obviously Finn doing his early high school schooling at Gore High before making the move up to Otago Boys High School, and now calls Otago home out of the Green Island Rugby Club. No, he was a lead hand in them getting their first Premier Club title in Dunedin in many years last year. So looking for more success this year. And the Crusaders looking dangerous there. They have one player who's looked good since he's come on is James O'Connor.
Well, all that experience, Bell went hard at the line, and then O'Connor, and he really looks to confuse the opposition by carrying that ball in one hand. You're not sure he's going to pass it or kick it, but he's looked good. He looks well below his 34 years.
Yeah, 34 years of age. Been around a long, long time. Debuted for the Western Force way back, I believe. Might have been just 17 years old. So he's probably half his life. He's been a professional footy player. We see another Golden Oldie scrum, and Robinson goes for the kick pass. Interesting one here, bit of a contest, and Kunawavi goes up for it, and he's held up in the tackle by Kangitel and Hurley. Just a wee bit far there from Tane Robinson. Crusaders will get possession back. Good tackle though from the Highlanders. Aggressive, winning that body height battle. Crusaders looking to play again through O'Connor. Bauer releases out the back to Reese. Has a wee dart and a dive. Sever Reese taken behind the gain low though. Highlanders look to pressure that breakdown. Crusaders just need to find some momentum. Nice wee tip ball though. O'Connor again with the one-hander. Manson might get an opportunity here. Michael Manson toes it. Manson, does he get the bounce? He does. Michael Manson.
I'm not sure.
And he scored it.
Scores it.
We'll call it a try. The Dutchies called it a try.
100%.
And the cheer from the terrace. Plenty to get excited about there. They've seen that in a Stags jersey. Now they see it in a Highlanders jersey. Oh, and he almost did bottle it. But he held on. And the Highlanders, more defensive pressure, and they get the reward. So, just another loose pass and got the dream bounce, Manson.
Well, we only just praised O'Connor for holding the ball in one hand and confusing defences, and he's thrown it away. And
did he get it down?
That's
Not
a try.
Sure.
You just got to ask the Terrace Scoot. That's a try any day of the week here in Invercargill.
The Terrace tell you to try. I'm sure there'll be some viewers in around the Canterbury, Tasman area might have a different view on that, but nonetheless, it's been awarded. Sure, if that was round one, might go under the old TMO scrutiny, but 5 points in the bank, 29-19, and Tane Robinson will look to add the extras. I think OB's mentioned earlier, goal kicking's been outstanding, and I've just put the mockers on him.
You have, curse of the commentator there.
Yeah, that was a commentator curse on Tane Robinson. He's pushed that one way right. As we see, Moana move through the pass, and O'Connor again with the one-hander. And the first one he hasn't put into the hands, and Manson swooped. And did he get it? He's held it, he's got it.
Downward pressure.
Downward pressure.
We'll take that.
Downward pressure.
We'll take that. No doubt about it.
Terrace called it, and O'Connor gets us back underway. Nice short one. Yeah, full disclaimer, Highlanders lenses on there. And the Crusaders get the ball back. So Crusaders with a bit of work to do with just about 13 minutes to go at Rugby Park. If you're just joining us in a highly entertaining game of pre-season Super Rugby here in Invercargill, played in great sunshine, lovely conditions, and lovely pass from Sever Reese.
Good tackle from Manson.
Manson does well, runs him down. I think that is for the Crusaders, Xavier Seifaloy on the field out of Waikato. And Crusaders building again. They go forward, but again, big defence from the Highlanders. And a real feature there, tackling through the middle of the field. Really accurate. Really good body position. So that'll be something that'll please Dylan. And here goes Sever Reese. Just looking a bit lost, the Crusaders at this point. Just going backwards, but they do well. Moana Mu, he's been impressive since he's come on very early in the game for George Bell.
Yeah, Withy the turnover, great work. And again, that's just a result of that intense defence they're applying on the Crusaders.
There's some real hustling going on from a Highlanders perspective, and sure also OB, this second half performance, particularly some of the players that have come on, going to give Coach Joseph some real selection headaches going into round one.
Well, that's a headache he'll enjoy, having those sort of selection options available to him. You're quite right. There's been no obvious come off the pace since the bench has been emptied. And they've really lifted the momentum, really lifted the tempo, and their physicality. It's just been too much for the Crusaders at this point.
Yeah, some real physicality. I know a few questions around the Highlanders, how they're physically fronted against the top teams. Well, they've going off today, they've definitely put some of those questions to bed if they can continue in this vein of form. So still some work to be done though. 11 minutes to go, and they drive, but they don't really go anywhere, and referee Hannon's going to ask Bell to use it, and he comes off. Henry Bell just ploughs forward and goes down to ground, and the Highlanders working away again, looking for another strike, and you'd think if they could get one here, might make it tough in the last 10 for the Crusaders to run this game down. 10-point lead currently. They play same way. Hasty goes away to Kaltai, Sosifo Kaltai, and they got another penalty advantage, the Highlanders. Hasty steps out again. Hurley looking to inject himself into the game. Finn Hurley. There's always something happen when Finn Hurley gets his hands on the ball, and lovely hands again. Nikora Broughton off to Manson. Has a wee duck and a dive. Duck stays up on his feet, goes away to Hurley. Accelerates through the line. Lifts up, have another go. Finn Hurley off to Hasty. Carrying the ball forward like a loose forward there. To Hiwi off to Holland. Here's a wee look. Punches his shoulders through the line. Highlanders just 5 metres out. Looking for the killer blow. Tane Robinson, Talia. Going a wee bit sideways here, but they're still on the outside. Withy fights forward, finds the offload. Off to Tangi Tau. Ducks it back on the inside. And they've just coughed the ball up.
Is that a penalty or a knock on? Knock on.
It's like a knock on, so just probably guilty there. Highlanders are just a wee bit lateral. They did Withy, did well to keep it alive, but again, just threatening.
But, man, take a breath. This is high-octane stuff. It's end-to-end. This is great stuff. And, again, just the quick ball that they're getting, and a Hasty, again, making good options, and they're really, really stretching the Crusaders. And there's young Josh Tingblad running onto the field at number 4.
Yes, Josh Tingblad, product out of the Highlanders High Performance Program. He's been spending a lot of time in the Highlanders in pre-season. Got a run last week on a national development contract, still under 20. He's going to be a leading player come the under 20 program and serious contender for New Zealand under 20s.
And there's a guy who should get a warmer round of applause as well. Mitch Dunshay, 70 minutes of great work.
Yeah, big shift from Dunshay. Now a good Southland Stag, former Crusader, and the Crusaders looking to run the ball out from their own goal line. Here, down by 10, plenty of time for them, and they have looked good with ball in hand on occasions, keeping the ball alive plenty. The Highlanders really, you have to say, lifted defensive intensity as the game's gone on. So, Crusaders, interesting to see what their tactic is here, if they do try to keep playing or whether they are happy to try and exit out. And it looks like Preston's going to go to the box kick, and he goes off his left foot. Does well, Kyle Preston. Nice hanging kick, but just a wee bit far, and Hurley takes the ball, rips a long pass, and he asked a few questions of Tangitau, but he does well, Caleb Tangitau. There he goes, that man, Finn Hurley. Finn Hurley slices through the middle, up over the 22, needs some support. Crusaders trying to get over the ball. Ball's there for the Highlanders. Henry Bell finds it on, quick hands. They go down that left edge again, still pumping forward. 6 metres out, and the ball just squirts out. Crusaders have turned it over, and they kick it out, but Finn Hurley...
They're just hanging on here, the Crusaders. The pace of this game is really starting to tell.
Yeah, the Highlanders just wave after wave, as we see there. Finn Hurley, he just put the accelerator on, and Kyle Preston did well. You'd have to say, Highlanders opportunity after opportunity, but they are really testing this Crusaders defence, and they'll get another opportunity here. 7 metres out, Henry Bell. Line out hasn't been overly efficient today, and again it just hasn't gone astray. Probably one big area they're going to have to get right for round 1, and Crusaders will try and make them pay here. Macca Springer puts a long left foot kick downfield, and this is going to test Finn Hurley, and the ball's going to beat everyone and go out, but probably just the line out, probably the one glaring area, as well as some discipline that the Highlanders will need to tidy up heading into round 1.
Yeah, definitely. Just hasn't been good in the second half, or the latter half of the second half, so definitely need some attention. But the Crusaders getting one of their very few attacking opportunities in this half.
As we see, Henry Bell, they're going to get another opportunity. Tingblad, the youngster, they go to the front, they go to him, and he does well. Again, a wee bit sloppy, but Withy finds Hasty, and Hasty goes onto his trusted left foot and goes nice and deep, and Springer's going to have absolute ample time here to wander the ball back, and he comes forward and he has a wee look and a wee step, and he goes forward, and Withy takes him in a nice tackle. Crusaders forwards having to work back yet again. Plenty of youngsters on for the Crusaders at this point though, so sure, coaches wise opportunity for them, and lovely ball over the top here for the Waikato man, Xavier Saifaloi, and he goes forward over the gain line. And Crusaders plough ahead again. Johnny Lee, another New Zealand under-20 player from 2024. Nice wee tip ball there for Christie, the experienced Tom Christie. Crusaders finding a bit more momentum. They fire it over the top, and Shea Fihaki puts it on the foot, hoping for a good bounce, but Tane Robinson gets a good bounce himself, and he's going to clear for touch, and nice long kick from Tane Robinson. Uses that wind behind him and finds a lovely touch. The Tasman 5'8".
Again, the Highlanders just absorbing that pressure. The Crusaders have to go to the air, and Tane Robinson carves off the better part of 40 metres there.
Yeah, big kick. He's kicked that right from the middle of the 22, and we count down. Just over 5 minutes to go here at Rugby Park. If you've just joined us for the back end of this one, hopefully I'm sure you can go back and watch from the start, because there's been a heck of a pre-season outing. Both teams, plenty of attack, plenty of endeavour, and Nathan Hasty's just going to get walked right over the top of here, and the Crusaders are going to come up with it, and O'Connor goes away. Lovely hands, but again just messy, and play on's the call, and a lovely offload to Maloney Kunawavi. Kunawavi taken in a big tackle from Finn Hurley, and the ball's come off Hurley's arm, I think. And the Crusaders are going to get a knock-on advantage, but trying to get on the front foot. Still time for them to get 2 scores. 10-point game here at Rugby Park. Big ball over the top to Saifaloi. Gets a big don't come near me to Tane Robinson. And here goes Macca Springer. Puts it on the foot. He's going to get the bounce. Macca Springer. And he does well. And just like that, the Crusaders are back. And it took a bit of brilliance from Saifaloi, the Waikato man, and Macca Springer to finish it. Finn Hurley did well, but in the end, good try from the Crusaders.
What about that tackle on Kunawave of
Finn Hurley.
Finn Hurley? He was going at full steam and Hurley just stood his ground,
Yeah, and he
lowered
did.
him.
Plenty of intent there from the wee man Hurley. Not the biggest player going around on a Super Rugby field, but by geez, he's got some intent. And looks like Caleb Tangitau coming off, just walking his way off the field. He's had a huge shift. 75 minutes from him today.
And the Crusaders attack just looking to rely on those little bits of individual brilliance, aren't they? And they've got plenty of talent, as we've said. And against the run of play, has to be said, they've put themselves in the striking distance.
Yeah, and we're going to set up an interesting last 3 minutes here at Rugby Park Stadium in Invercargill. 29-24. I'm sure both teams will want the win, regardless of it being pre-season. Always good mental boost, and O'Connor pushes that one away, and the terrace gives him a wee bit of encouragement as he comes down, possibly his first game at Rugby Park. As
we look over his shoulder there at the crowd, just to acknowledge their encouragement.
Yeah, plenty of it here on a lovely Waitangi day. And the Highlanders are definitely not taking any rush towards this kick-off. Apart from Tane Robinson, he's ready. As we count down, there'll be plenty of tired bodies at the end of this one.
Well, this is a good wee test here for the Highlanders. You know, you're up with 3 minutes to go. These are the sort of scenarios you practice, so it'll be interesting to see how they close the game out.
Yeah, so 5 minutes to go. They're up by 10, now only up by 5. So Crusaders, a converted try will win it at the death. A 5-pointer will tie it all up. No golden point today. And a nice wee ball out the back. Crusaders really looking to have a go here and going to try and chance their arm from their own 22. And off they go. The Crusaders really giving the ball some air and just hasn't come off for them again. And Withy's going to get over that ball and we're going to go to a scrum. So,
and there are some very tired bodies out there, but to be fair, the pace has been cracking for the full 77 minutes. It's been a wonderful game to watch.
Yeah, high tempo. Really, and it really hasn't slowed. Came out after half-time. The Highlanders, after probably Crusaders having the better of those first half exchanges, the Highlanders come out after half-time and they've really just kicked it up 2 or 3 gears. Some really impressive performances off the bench. And they've got a real chance to ice this game here as we go inside the last 2 minutes. Midfield scrum, 22 metres out. Golden Oldies scrum also, which we've had for the last 15-20 minutes. Crusaders down a couple of tight heads this afternoon. Hurley, probably not his best moment. Fires the ball off to his teammate Manson, but just didn't go to hand.
Yeah, Hurley's come right there, and he's just thrown that pass like a sack of onions, and it's gone straight into touch.
Yeah. And probably just opening the door again for the Crusaders. And like you said before, OB, this is a real mental test for the Highlanders more than anything. Trying to hold and keep playing accurately with that lead. Crusaders, you would say, probably one last opportunity here. 1 minute to play at Rugby Park. See what they can do. They've got 80 metres to go.
Withy's on the ball.
Withy's going for the ball. Has he got it? No, he hasn't.
Penalty.
Oh, he's going to give, I'm sure, Fraser Hannon a confused look, and he does.
Yeah, he was on it long enough, I think, and
We
then he
have
lost his feet.
He might have just
He was on his feet long enough.
said he was in the side or hands on the ground. Crusaders have gone quickly. Manson scoops it up, though. They kick the ball back to Michael Manson, and he grabs the ball inside the last minute. Let's see how the Highlanders play this out. Are they going to try and close it out? And it looks like they are. Withy, they're going to have to make sure they don't seal the ball off, though. Crusaders, I'm sure, will try and get them to ground and get over the ball. And Holland does well to keep his feet. I'm sure Hannon will be looking closely here at the ceiling. And Hastie's going to try and wind the clock down. Highlanders trying to close this out. Some good practice for the coming weeks, I'm sure. See how well they can operate here. And we had a bit of a standstill. Crusaders trying to pole through that rut. And they try to, but Highlanders probably got another ruck or two in them, then they'll be able to kick it out if they can hold on. Crusaders looking for the steal.
That's it, I think.
Hannon looked like he was going to blow the whistle, and Robinson kicks it into the terrace, and it's all over, and the Highlanders, well, it's not competition points, but it's definitely a great step in the right direction. 29 points to 24 over the Crusaders here at Rugby Park, and what's been a fantastic Southland crowd on a great Waitangi day.
Absolutely. It's the 6th of February. It's very early, but that is a great game of rugby, and the Southland and Highlanders faithful will flow out of these gates very, very happy indeed. It's been a great encounter and a beautiful day and a beautiful pitch, and I think both teams will take plenty out of that heading into the next couple of rounds.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed the coverage today. It's been a fantastic hit out. Both teams showing some great enterprise. Plenty to tidy up, both areas, both sides, but overall some really good rugby, and I'm sure OB, most of all for the Highlanders, no real injury concerns by the looks of that.
Yeah, that's vital, and it didn't appear so. Nareki went down, but he seemed to get back on his feet okay.
Standouts today, OB, for you. There's been plenty across the park. The Highlanders, there were some real guys who really put their hand up, particularly in that second half.
Well, I'll go back to the first half. I thought Miller was good in the first half. Tangitau was good the whole game. I thought he was probably the standout in the backs. I thought Dunshea did a mountain of work in the middle of the field defensively and carried aggressively and did a lot of work. So they'll be happy with that. Who else was there? Like the Sawani Vakena. He had a good game, I thought. But by and large, even the guys that came off the bench contributed. I thought Hasty was good at halfback. And so, you know, they'll be very, very happy. Tavatava Naiwa was devastating in the 12 shirt, so that'll give everybody a bit of food for thought, won't it? So, yeah, I think there's a number of players, but more than that, I think they'll be happy as a team. Certainly in that second half, they started to get their shape together and they started to put their game together and put a lot of pressure on the Crusaders.
And how good's this, OB? Have you seen this for a while? Kids storming the field here at Rugby Park.
No, this is what it's all about. This is what it is all about. Fans getting close to their heroes, and it's just a great scene here.
Yeah, fantastic day, and now the kids will sure try and get plenty of signatures and photos and selfies and take it all in. So it's been a great day here at Rugby Park Stadium. It's the Highlanders who have come out on top, 29 points to 24.